The dispensation of the Bab began in 1844 and lasted only 9 years. Its primary purpose was to prepare the way for the coming of Bahá'u'lláh. Although brief, the Bab's dispensation was of such tremendous spiritual intensity that its effect will be felt for hundreds of generations to come. The Bab, whose name was Siyyid Alí Muḥammad, was born in Shírází, a city in what is now southern Iran, on the 20th of October, 1819. The Bab belonged to a distinguished and noble family. Raised by his maternal uncle, the Bab was gifted with innate knowledge and was sent home by his teacher, who felt he had nothing to teach him. Whoever encountered him, whether friend or stranger, was struck with wonder at the extraordinary character of this child. At 15 years of age, the Bab started work as a merchant in Bushir. He quickly gained a reputation for honesty and trustworthiness. At 21, the Bab spent a year in Najaf and Karbala, studying under a notable scholar named Sayyid Kazim, who was preparing his disciples for the coming of the promised Qa'im. The Bab then returned to Shírází, where he came to marry Khadija Begum. The Bab declared his mission and announced the glad tidings of the coming of Bahá'u'lláh on the eve of May the 23rd, 1844. He was 25 years of age. 4 months after his declaration, the Bab and his companion Khudus set out on pilgrimage. From Shírází, they traveled to Mecca and Medina. While in Mecca, the Bab wrote a letter to the Sharif of the city, clearly elucidating his mission and calling upon the Sharif to accept his cause. Following their pilgrimage to Islam's most holy sites, the Bab and his companions sailed home from the port city of Jeddah. By this time, the Bab's message had spread across the country and stirred up great excitement. This caused fear among the religious clergy and political elite that they might lose their influence and power, including the governor of Shírází, who ordered the Bab's arrest. The Bab was intercepted by guards on the road from Bushir to Shírází. Profoundly moved by the Bab's person, the guards allowed the Bab to walk before them, free and unchained, as they made their way towards Shírází. At age 26, the governor had the Bab moved to Isfahan. From Isfahan, the Bab was summoned to Tehran to meet the Shah. However, due to the influence of the Prime Minister, who feared for his position and power, the Bab was redirected to Tabriz. After a short time in Tabriz, the Bab was sent to the fortress of Maku. From Maku, the Bab was transferred to the fortress of Shirik. During his stay in Shirik, he was brought to Tabriz for questioning. On July 9, 1850, before a crowd of nearly 10,000 people, the Bab was martyred.
I am the promised one. I am the one whose name you have for 1,000 years invoked, at whose mention you have risen, whose advent you have longed to witness, and the hour of whose revelation you have prayed God to hasten. Verily I say, it is incumbent upon the peoples of both the East and the West to obey my word and to pledge allegiance to my person.